We need to talk about Minneapolis, right? Because yesterday's shooting at the Annunciation Catholic School, it devastated the community of Minneapolis. It left some families permanently changed, and we're starting to get more information about what happened and why. Now, starting with what we already knew is that yesterday morning, a 23-year-old by the name of Robin Westman opened fire through the window of the pre-K to 8th grade Annunciation Catholic School during morning mass meant to mark the first week of school. 2 kids aged 8 and 10 were killed, and another 17 were injured, with 14 of those being children, as well as the other 3 being elderly parishioners, with the shooter ultimately taking their own life behind the church. As far as updates around the victims, it looks like all of the 17 injured are expected to pull through. But with that, several of them required surgery, and as of last night, 5 children and 1 of the adults remain in critical condition. And you're seeing that as they're getting treatment in the area hospitals, you've had tons of people all coming out to grieve and show their support. Multiple vigils taking place last night in and around Minneapolis, and many of them also calling for stricter gun control and an end to violence that is seemingly so distinctly American. Then as far as the shooter, you've seen more information getting revealed and confirmed as investigators keep digging. Right, the shooter's identity was confirmed yesterday during an afternoon press conference by Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara, and we were able to sneak that into yesterday's show before we went live. We know that the shooter had no previous criminal history and obtained all the weapons they had at the time of the shooting legally, which included a shotgun, a rifle, and a pistol. It was also revealed that the shooter was a former student of Annunciation Catholic and a member of the church, and their mother was also reportedly working there as an administrative assistant in the business office for 5 years before retiring back in 2021. With then all of that bringing us to the big question that is yet to be answered. Why did they open fire on a church filled with young kids? And while the precise motive is still being investigated, what we do know is that something like a manifesto was posted on the shooter's YouTube channel, scheduled to go live as the shooting happened, though it was quickly taken down. And these posts reportedly consisted of a 10-minute long video shot on a cell phone camera showing a cache of weapons, ammo, and loaded magazines that had phrases like "Kill Donald Trump" and "Where is your God now?" along with racist and anti-Semitic language. Also, in the video, the person recording, who we notably never see the face of, apologizes to their family and adds, "I regret everything. I didn't ask for life. You didn't ask for death." Within another video that was reportedly 20 minutes long showing 2 journals. And at the end of that video, the person recording reportedly flipped to a sketched layout of the Annunciation Church and stabbed a knife into it, saying they'll upload a video on the day. Additionally, another piece of the conversation that's emerged since our coverage yesterday is the speculation surrounding Westman's gender identity. Right, in yesterday's press conference, the shooter was referred to as a man, but reports quickly emerged that Robin actually changed their name from Robert at 17 years old, with her mom signing off on the document at the time saying that Robin, quote, identifies as a female and wants her name to reflect that identification. However, their identity at the time of the shooting remains unclear, with most outlets just avoiding the use of pronouns altogether when reporting on Westman and the shooting. But this element has captured the attention of both the internet and politicians, especially after the 2023 Covenant School shooting, which was committed by a trans man, with the likes of Lauren Boebert, for example, saying things like, "Democrats will rush to try to use today's tragedy in Minneapolis as a pretext to disarm law-abiding Americans. I've yet to see a single Democrat acknowledge the pattern of transgender violence in our country. Today's demonic killer was a mentally disturbed man who identified as a woman. It's time to stop coddling insane people in our country. It's costing the lives of our children." And that, as you saw the likes of Elon Musk responding to a similar tweet from Kristi Noem, simply saying there is a clear pattern here. However, at the same time, you also saw Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey trying to get in front of this snowball, with him urging the public yesterday to avoid scapegoating the trans community because of the actions of a single person.
I have heard about a whole lot of hate that's being directed at our trans community. Anybody using this as an opportunity to villainize our trans community or any other community out there has lost their sense of common humanity. We should not be operating out of a place of hate for anyone. We should be operating from a place of love for our kids. Kids died today. This needs to be about them.
Now, like I said earlier, the precise motive for the shooting, it's still being investigated, but the FBI director, Kash Patel, said on Twitter that they are specifically investigating this as an act of domestic terrorism and as a hate crime against Catholics. But then also, in addition to that, we've seen this once again renewing the conversation around gun violence prevention with, for example, Mayor Jacob Frey saying in an interview this morning,
"Right now, we have a city that is united in grief, and we have a city that is going to be united in action, because the truth is that there needs to be change so that we don't have another mayor in another month and a half talking about a tragedy that happened in their city. People who say that this is not about guns, you got to be kidding me. This is about guns. We do need to take action. There are other countries around the world where horrific acts have taken place like this, and then they step up to make a change so that it in fact does not happen again."
You know, we are seeing other lawmakers and advocate groups echoing that, pressing for change and action and prevention. But also, one, with this being America in general, and two, the makeup of Congress being what it is right now, real change on this front, for many, it seems very, very unlikely, right? Even in the wake of this horrific tragedy. And well, of course, with all this, again, I want to say our hearts go out to the victims and their families and the staff and just everyone caught up in this whole terrible, awful situation. In the meantime, for everyone, I'd love to know your thoughts, reactions, and opinions here.